This is Volothamp Modulus Tautology, Square Enix. This is Dragon Quest 3. Alright. Now, Dragon Quest is an Enix game. Final Fantasy is a Squaresoft game. You see, way back in the day, Squaresoft and Enix were quote unquote rivals. Right? Sounds crazy, right? But so they joined forces and now they're one company. So back in 1988, this was strictly an Enix game. But then in whatever year they merged as a corporation. So this game is made in 2019. So it's a it's a Square Enix game. All right. So Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest came out first for the Nintendo, the original Nintendo, and then Final Fantasy came out for Square. And Final Fantasy became the more popular kind of worldwide kind of a thing, and Dragon Quest is a Japanese game that's like the greatest of all time kind of a thing. But both of them got inspiration from Origin, American companies, and England and European companies that made the Dungeons and Dragons and type games and everything. So, but Dragon Quest, we'll get more into all that. I'm, but I just wanted to point that out because we're talking about Venture Forth. Okay, so I just started this game and no, that's not what I wanted to do. I already did that, I thought. Oh, it doesn't matter. So I just got it on in the background to anyway to just rap. I'm already too much dead air and everything. And how much time did I put in there? There it is. Hope I ain't lose anybody from trying to figure things out, and because I'm experiencing the same things because way back then it was Nintendo was a hardware is the hardware, right? Sega had the Master System, then they came out with the Genesis, right? Nintendo had the NES and then had the Super NES. Nintendo likes to do a Revolution, then an Evolution console. So the NES, and I get that shout out to Mr. T, right? The NES was the Revolution. The Super NES was the Evolution. All right. The Wii was the Revolution. I think they even codenamed Revolution. I have to go back and check on that. But the Wii U was the Evolution. The Switch was the Revolution. The Switch 2 is supposed to be the Evolution. All right, there it is. Are they in competition with themselves? Kind of, sort of. That this is the joke that me and my son is going on because yes, we want to Switch 2, but I'm trying to explain to him. Notice how you can have a Switch 2 in your hand and have it communicate to a Switch that's docked and play a Switch 2 game on your Switch 1 that's docked and be kind of what the Wii U was. And Daddy, shoot you just want the Wii U to come back because I facetiously go, the Wii U is my favorite system of all time, even though it's one of the weakest selling Nintendo systems of all time. I think the only one that's worse than it is the Virtual Boy kind of a thing, which was a first virtual reality system, and it's rare to find, yada yada, whatever. So it's just the point to prove that Nintendo doesn't always have, not every system outsells everybody else, kind of a thing. All right. It's no longer Nintendo versus, at one point it became Nintendo 64 versus the PlayStation, but it was also other little systems, Atari Jaguar, Sega Saturn, and then Sega Dreamcast. Like these are the hardware wars. At certain points you had 10 pieces of hardware. Now we're seeing that less companies are really doing the hardware because it's tough competition. So the last generation, basically, the competition really wasn't the Nintendo, because there's a hybrid system. You can plug it, you can play it at home, or you can take it, undock it. So the only real hardware ones was the PlayStation 4, or now it's the PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series X, or whatever it's called, right? So those are the last two. Now PlayStation is saying they're going to come out with a 6 kind of a thing, rumors, and people are up in arms because they just came out with a PlayStation 5 Pro, and the Nintendo people, they rushed out and bought a Switch 2, and it's like, these things take time to sell, and they take time to become the greatest. Just like a movie, right? It used to take time for a movie to make $1 billion, right? But now, what the sin, I'm saying sin, that Marvel did was they built it up. They had to build it up to be $1 billion movies, and they built it up to, the Avengers, Endgame, and the other movie, right? Infinity Wars, right? So it built it up to that. And then the other movies that was around it, like your Black Panther, like even your girl, Captain Marvel, they benefited off of that, right? So therein is where the conflict started to happen with the quote-unquote gender wars, because the fellows, we are the comic book readers. We love Spider-Man. We love Superman, right? When you bring in Supergirl, it's different. Right? Like, yeah, I'll go see Supergirl in the movies. I'll to go see it with her. But she's not into Supergirl. That's why it's funny. It's the same thing happened in football, basketball, all the sports, all the major sports. The fellows like to, hey, let's watch some football together. Hey, let's play some, even when it comes to playing cards, let's play poker together, right? The guys like to play poker together. The girls like to play, usually like to take like bridge, or like spades became the crossover game, You have to have a crossover kind of a game. Like, you don't want to play poker, like a girl don't want to play poker with a bunch of guys. And it's like, because if she loses and she don't want to pay, then what, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, guys used to like to get together, like, what's his name? H. Rap Brown tells a story of how they got together and blew on the dice and rolled the dice and everything. And, it's hey, you don't have to, you cheating or whatever. And we see these in the old movies in the 90s. Where we were still doing it, you have a conflict, it's not good, right? So those things we don't have anymore. Now we can just, hey, give me your friend code, we can play a video game together. Hey, we can play Uno together online and everything. And it's like, I'm trying to get people to convert over to doing that. And it's, it's just time. Like, people don't have time to do it like they used to, And There it is. That's the gist of it. So, but I'm still, reading books and we should be doing those other things too, But yeah, go to the movies. Go check out a good movie. Shout out to Mr. C, because he went to go see. I can't even remember the name of the movie, but Brad Pitt has a new movie, F1, a Formula One movie. So it's probably a cute movie, right? But I can't. I'm focused on going. I'm gonna go see Superman, right? But I already see it's the competition. You got to, it's either go see Superman or go see the Fantastic Four. I can't afford to go to both of them, right? And then it's, well, you broke. All right, whatever. I'm broke, right? So, but me and my son and hopefully my dad, we planning on going to see Superman together. Like, maybe with my brother that come too. That'd be dope, right? Or even Maurice, my older brother. I got two brothers, right? Got several brothers. Like, that's what we trying to be, the brotherhood of man, right? That's what we're supposed to be working on, right? So that's why I started the month off of the fatherhood of God or the brotherhood of man, right? And the brotherhood of man, not or, because they work together we're supposed to be working together in solidarity. There it is. But we find that we're being fought over by two political ideologies. One of them saying segregation, the other one saying separation. And both of them are being hypocrites when it comes to those two terminologies. I'm just keeping it 100. So that's why we're foundational Black Americans, and we seek solidarity with ourselves. And that's why we're not marching with y'all right now. Like, y'all bugging, right? They're extra. Hey, is your paperwork together? Like, you know what I mean? And then your paperwork's together. No, I'm an American. All I got to do is say my name, run my name. All right, you see that? Boom, it's a picture of me. All right, cool. You know where I live at. All right, cool. What you doing this weekend? Right? Like, I could talk to the cop like that. Like, this is America. You're American, right? Oh, all right. Oh, your son's birthday party? All right, I'll be through or whatever. Because I'm a part of the community. Right? So y'all want to come into the community, and then we come into the community, and then it's fire the foundation of Black America. I'm going to give you his job. And, you need a job now? Okay, I'm going to put you underneath the immigrant. But the immigrant is going to try to what? Fire you because you want your old job back. This is the way it is right now. And I'm still trying to explain the culture. And it's just funny. I'm showing it, it's live with the gameplay or whatever, and it's, small on the screen, I know, but I ain't really here to play it right now. But I do want to share this real quick. Let me share this one. I'm gonna share this one, John. That I'm gonna share a video. I done lost my glasses. Oh, here they go. All right, let me share some lyrics. Like, I've been trying to implement this into the game too. I'm already kind of over. I ain't want to do a whole half hour. All right, peep the lyrics. This is from Common and Pete Rock's new album. They have a new album together, right? The name of the album is, what is the name of this album? The Audition? The Auditorium. The Auditorium is the name of the new album, right? And this is a song on the album, and it's called A God. Peep the lyrics, right? Landed from the heaven on the 7th. My presence to a gift. I was destined like a reverend. All right. They didn't light up the words, so all right, whatever. No weapons formed against my sixth sense is pleasing. Congregation get a fifth and make usher confessions. Wow. Congregation gets a fifth and make usher confessions. That's a crazy bar right there, because gets a fifth could be, considered uh, you know, alcohol, right? They in there drinking, and here's Usher talking about confessions, right? Which is very secular, right? So there's a lot of secularism going on in this church. The devil is a lie. Angels made investments, right? There is a God. You've seen a black woman's essence. Wow. Okay. Let me see. I wish I had my. Why didn't you light this up? I've been on a quest, even when the world questioned. Okay, so he's on a quest. My testimony came from all the testing. 1, 2. Okay, because that's what we used to like. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's what the MC do, right? I dream in words that come true. That's dope. For the have-nots, there's things to undo. Ew. Widows of opportunity, let the sun through. I am a prodigy and a prodigal son too. Yo, Common going in on this right here, right? Right or wrong? I returned home with things that I've learned. What's known is hard to earn. Scars and burns. Wow. I guess. Is that I guess? Yeah, I guess hard times require hard minds. I guess hard times requires hard minds. Watch like a rolling and stay on God's time. I mean, I've been really listening to Sky Zoo album, and I've said that's the best album this year so far. But this just came out too. And I've been listening to this album too. And this is one of the greatest albums of all time. This Common and Pete Rock, this is a top 5 album of all rap, hip hop, R&B, whatever you want to call it, genre. This is a top 5 all-time album. So how can I say Sky Zoo is the best album this year if this album came out too? And they don't play it, promote it, or anything like that. I know they're not going to do Sky Zoo. But they're not playing or promoting this either, I don't think. Where radio stations you hear play this, right? Talking about, I watch like a rolling and stay on God's time.
I watch like a rolling and stay on God's time.
There is a God, the living God. There is a God in the spirit of you. There is a God, true living God. There is a God in the spirit of you. Now, is that gospel music or is that hip hop? And if it's hip hop, is that gospel music? Shout out to Jennifer Hudson. I ain't mean to mess up your voice, boo. But there it is. Share some more hip hop with y'all, but now let's talk about these fake pastors, all right? So and how they want to choose what corporation to, like, should you get a Nintendo or should you? I'm like, yeah, if you can afford both of them, you can afford a Nintendo Switch 2 and a PlayStation 5 Pro. Go ahead and get both of them. I'm not jealous that you got a PlayStation. I want to get a Switch 2, and if I hit the lottery or whatever, I get the PlayStation 5. But I'm really more into building. I want to build my own computer. Like, I want to build one more computer before I leave the planet Earth. and I want to make it the most powerful computer that I ever built, and then that'll be on my bucket list, and I can just move on, right? But in order to help me do that, I need you to hit that like button, subscribe, share, etc., etc. Don't tell me we have to boycott Target because all right, I'll share it. I'm gonna let the professionals explain that to you. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me mute my mic and then go into the illness real quick.
But no, let's get to this now. We're staying on. This is FBA versus Latina segment. Why in the world? First of all, why is Reverend Jesse Jackson? I think he has Parkinson's. He has something. He's not fully mentally there. They prop him up in his wheelchair for symbolism. But Pastor Jamal Bryant, he's a grifter. He's a con artist, just like the other preachers, black preachers in the black community. Call themselves boycotting Target over DEI. I'm still shopping at Target. I'm not going to stop shopping at Target. But this reporter here from Real America Voice, he asked him a question, a very good question. And the audacity of these black people, I'm gonna call them the boule, to try and deny the fact that illegals are not taking black jobs, because they are.
Sir?
Yes.
I understand the boycott against Target, against DEI.
Yes.
But why is the Rainbow Push Coalition supporting illegal aliens if illegal aliens disproportionately affect the black community jobs?
Say that one more time.
Why is the Rainbow Push Coalition supporting illegal aliens when illegal aliens disproportionately negatively affect the black community?
Yeah, that's not true.
It is true. They take jobs, right? But they take your jobs.
Question.
He's saying that's not true. It is true. I actually did a video with Diamond Dave, and I'm going to put the link to that video in the description, to where I uncovered with data 70% of black working adults make $43,000 or less annually. Let me repeat that. 70% of working black Americans, adult Americans, make $43,000 or less annually. 43,000 or less, that is the low wage jobs. It's the low wage jobs. So if you have illegals coming in here, the jobs that they can easily start working are the low wage. Picking the oranges, working the fields, the agriculture, hospitality, right? Now, some people say, well, Americans and specifically black Americans, they don't want to work in that industry. Bullshit. I don't believe that. How many black men come out of prison, and women, who can't find a job, who's willing to work any place and do anything for an honest paycheck? But if you're making under 43,000, you are employed at a low wage job. And the more illegals come in here, the more incentives these corporations are going to have to lay off Americans and hire an illegal, because they could pay them pennies on the dollar. And
so you saw how Jamal Bryant passed the microphone, and I've shown that before. You know what I mean? Like he didn't want no heat for that. He doesn't want to, correlate DEI with illegal immigrants. He already knows he knows what he's supposed to and do and not do. And this goes way back for, like, I have to document this to help people understand. Like what really supposed to happen is it's supposed to be what business is supposed to work. It's supposed to be, hey, here we have a Target and here we have a Walmart. Now they are in competition with each other, so they're supposed to do what they, the best they can to win the public to, shop at their store. But what you have here is now you have these black pastors. You know what I mean? It's not just the pastors, it's the politicians too. There's a thin line between a pastor and a priest, right? And a politician. They both Pharisees. They fake, they frauds. So the Jamal Bryant is fighting for the contract to fight Target. So it's boycott Target because of DEI. Not that Walmart over here doesn't have DEI either. They're against DEI too. They're anti-DEI too. So if we boycott Target, then all we're gonna do is go shop at Walmart. Right? So now he wants to get the credit of Target sales being bad. So what Target does with their sales is bad is they have to lower their prices and cut back on the employment, right? And reimagine their whatever it is the difference to get those sales to instead of going to Walmart to come to their store, right? So Bryant isn't doing anything. It's just when conceptually when Target first came out, it was supposed to be the better quality over Walmart, right? Walmart was supposed to be Chinese made, right? China made. Target is supposed to be more Chinese made, but we in America add our little touch to it to make it a little more high value, kind of a concept. So you found Target was supposed to have been more high quality. The little bit of difference to make the not the lower class, but the little better, little above lower class come shop at. Right? Now they want to say that's white or that's black or not say that's how they confuse you. So he's not doing anything to change the racism in the form called white supremacy, right? Because boycotting is an old concept from the 60s. Like, yes, it worked for the bus company, but we're in a different time now. Now, in order to get the corporations to do what we want, we need to build our own. That's what they're not allowing, especially foundational black Americans, to do. It's not hard. This is a Tim Black, this is a little Tim Black, this is a month ago. So this one, let me come back out, right? So this one's a month ago. And this is before Jamal Bryant got the quote unquote contract to boycott, right? And I'll be back with more, all right? Here we go. Let me just.
Jamal Bryant is fighting for that job, and he's doing it right now with this.
We've got staying power. We've got a model. The Montgomery bus boycott 70 years ago went 381 days. And our community is resolved and focused and intentional that we're not going to spend our dollars where we're not honored and where we're not appreciated.
Show me, how are you not appreciated? How are you not appreciated? DI is not black people. Man, they've been selling this shit, man, and y'all been buying it. All these black people coming out, DI, putting their black faces in front of the camera saying DI was black. It was all the rules to help themselves, Johnson. To help them get future jobs, get future employment. I'm trying to tell you what I know, man. Because DI never helped black people. It never was. But people want to claim victim like, oh, taking away DI hurts us. How if it wasn't for you, how is it going away hurting you? Nah, the people that before it were white women. I'm betting it's Jeff Bezos' ex, Bill Gates' wife. There's a big pocket somewhere around here lurking. Yeah, it's a big pocket somewhere lurking around here that make this an issue. Folks, I'm trying to tell you, if DEI did not primarily help black people, we know that. There's numbers. Who we really fighting for?
So it's segregation versus separation. All right? But then they sell it as segregation versus desegregation. So segregation is bad, desegregation is good. Not if you're specifically desegregating foundational black Americans. You're still not getting it. Right? You're specifically doing just one of the groups. You're not desegregating these illegals that got to go back home, because that's what they're trying to sell it as. Like, you're desegregating us. You're sending us back to our, like, we got to be due process. Like, you're not an American citizen. You're an illegal. You came over here specifically to sell drugs, rape women, kidnap children, right? Meanwhile, you got foundation of black Americans that got out of jail, then they couldn't find a job the whole past 4 years or they worked these low jobs. I was working right next to them, and I'm trying to help them and organize and do all of my years of experience in managing, people, right? I'm a field ninja, not a house ninja. Right? I don't care if you black ninja, white ninja, orange ninja. If you a field ninja, I don't care what color you are. If you a field ninja, I'm working right next to you. That's how I manage. Them house ninjas, what do? They the ones that let's get rid of these black ninjas. Especially these foundational black ninjas. Right? They've been here the longest. They gotta go. So my 15, 20 years of service at whatever company, it meant nothing. Once Obama and Biden had the helm, it meant nothing. It meant they just got off, we just got off the boat. That's in Obama's case, right? I just got off the boat. So you have to give up your 20 years or whatever. I know you was about to get a pension or whatever. Your F4, you got to use your 401k or whatever, or you didn't build that up enough, or like everything that you tried to build is, well, you got to give that up now, and we're going to, take advantage of you, right? And it's like, no, is that exactly how Obama planned? No, that's not how he planned, plot and planned it, right? Obama's supposed to have been a strong leader, right? And the strong leader is one that it's showing the video too. I just wanted to show what the castle looked like and everything a little bit. Let me come out. Let me come out of that and do this. There it is, all right? So I'm comparing and contrasting this game with Final Fantasy a little bit for y'all to show y'all they used to be in competition with each other. In this game, it might be Fire Spell. In Final Fantasy, it's Fireball. And the graphics are different. This is more traditional of Dragon Ball Z. The same artist from Dragon Ball Z, the Greek Dragon Ball Z movie, where Final Fantasy had their own artists and they had a certain look to their games. But we'll get more into the history of all that and everything. My son actually knows it better than I do. Not with this game, but it's definitely with Sonic. So we're going to be back with more Sonic the Hedgehog. And of course, Sonic's main competition is Mario. So, But my, son's showing favoritism to Sonic. I don't blame him. Hey, Dad, go ahead, son. Enjoy Sonic. But he does want us to do platformers first. So either Rayman or Spyro or something like. We're supposed to have somebody special for y'all the next time we get together and record something. But I'm just trying to share that it's supposed to be friendly competition. That's what's going on between Common and Sky Zoo. I'm not saying Sky Zoo was like, this is going to be my album. Common is, this is going to be my album. Let's make sure that we're not in the same lane, right? Common just wanted to do Mecca and the Soul Brother with the Mecca and Soul Brother creator. You know what I mean? And that's not being dissing, you know, his name's slipping my mind right now. But it might hit me in a second. You know, because there's so many MCs, so many rappers, right? And of course, the corporations is going to promote the, you know, Biggie and Tupac's, right? I'm gonna take your girl, I'm gonna take your thing, I'm gonna take your life, and then they, you know, end up found in the gutter somewhere, right? And then what they do is they blame black on black crime. This is exactly what happened on Memorial Day, right? Memorial Day, the families, we all came out to Lemon Park in Philadelphia, and all of a sudden, mysteriously, three or four people come and shoot up the place. And everybody got to scatter, and the cops has to do more of crowd control and getting the people out of there. So these four culprits got away. And of course, who do they blame? Foundation of Black Americans. They could have been illegals. They don't know, they don't care. But who's getting the blame? Foundation of Black Americans. So that when we had the Roots picnic, not too many days later, which you know, prices, you know what I mean? So there's going to be a little better quality of crowd there. It's not going to be those, right? You're not going to pay to be in the front row to shoot up the place or whatever, right? Well, you might want to do that too. But security is a little, you know what I mean? Because you're paying for that little extra security. So, and so it turned out to be well, but the rain kind of messed it up and everything. But if I'm, like, you know what I mean, we got to remember that the Roots Picnic used to be kind of free. Like, it might have been free at first. It was more like Woodstock, free. Right? Why can't we just have a impromptu party, you know what I mean, in the park? Like, that's what we used to do. And that's actually a free country. But now we got to pay the police to protect us from, quote unquote, the illegals that the government, the Democrats, and specifically, let into this country. And then we had to fight for jobs for them, and now they still want to be in denial of it. And we have pastors, now Pastor Brian and Roland Martin is saying, you know, because the black church or whatever, some other black leaders took some kind of donation from Target. Now it's we're fighting each other, and then who's the one that started the fight, and how much should they have gotten, and all this other hypocrisy that has nothing to do with, yo, church. We try to read to the children, or my friends over here, Fathers Reads 365. We need some donations to help my brother Brent and them to help read to the children. His nonprofit organization over here. Yo, this is my man Akil Parker. He's really into arithmetic and helping people understand how to do arithmetic and things of that nature. He's more on the math side. So you got the reading and then you got the math covered. Oh, what's me? I'm hip hop. I'm more on that epistemological tip, right? I like to be abstract. I like to be analytical, and I do a little bit of arithmetic with you. I'm what you call an algebraic logical theorist. There it is. There it is. Love God, our Father, all the time. Hip hop time. Love God, our Father, all the time. Hip hop life. One mother. Love your mother. Okay? God is love. Hip hop is life. Time is holy. Money is nothing more than a fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist. That includes that gold. That's mammon. Alright? But if you get one, bury it, because that's what I'm doing, right? For a rainy day. Because all this fighting over what's better, macro or microeconomics, when actually economics as a whole, socioeconomics, is the art of making the most out of life. Now that's hip hop. Peace.